Hey there, game enthusiasts of all shapes and sizes. My name is Christian. Nice to meet you. This week has been a pretty fun week for gaming. Tons of cool announcements, couple of rumors going through. So I just want to go back and recap some of them. But without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. But wait, if I can waste your time a little bit, do me a favor, you guys. If you like the video, please consider subscribing as it does help me out tons. With that out of the way, let's get into this video. Bayonetta 3 and Bayonetta Origins releases somewhat of a lukewarm reception in an already niche genre, but that doesn't seem to be stopping Nintendo from moving forward with creating the next Bayonetta entry. Bayonetta's producer on the Nintendo side, Makoto Okazaki, was recently quoted saying, "We currently have nothing concrete to share with you about the future of the series yet, but I personally do not believe this is the end of Bayonetta. I would first like to hear the thoughts and opinions of the players who have played this game and then consider the future of the series." As a Bayonetta fan personally, this gets me pretty excited. After playing through Bayonetta Origins, it's definitely a good thing, I think, if they can continue moving forward with their mainline series as well as keeping these spin-offs coming to kind of like subsidize the time in between Bayonettas, just because typically Bayonetta games do take a pretty long time to come out. So if they can find a way to keep Bayonetta's name in the media, that'll definitely help elevate Bayonetta to be more of a household name. So here's hoping that Nintendo and the team can keep pushing out more games. If you didn't already know, March 27th is the official last day that the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS eShops are going to be available for consumers to purchase. And we've been seeing a mad dash scramble for people trying to buy whatever they want before the eShop closes. Some people taking it to the extreme, like a YouTube channel known by the Completionist. Gerard went out and purchased every single game available on the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS eShop. He purchased a total of 866 Wii U games and 1,547 3DS games, totaling out to $22,791 US. Now this just highlights how much we're actually going to be losing once these eShops are officially closed. If you haven't seen the video, definitely go ahead and check it out. It is a pretty impressive video. He kind of goes and highlights the story of the struggles it was to try to even put the money on the digital eShop cards so that he can buy all these games, and how he had to go out and buy extra storage to fit everything everywhere. It was a very impressive video, and it definitely highlights an issue that's going to be imminent once we start moving towards a more digital future. Alright, moving on to PlayStation. The Sony just dropped some games onto PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers this week. Things like Chia, which is a day-and-date indie game that dropped officially on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, Ghostwire Tokyo, Life is Strange 2, Street Fighter V's Championship Edition, Untitled Goose Game, Final Fantasy Type 0, Neo The World Ends With You, Immortal Phoenix Rising, Ape Escape 2. They just dropped tons of bangers after bangers after bangers, kind of solidifying how much they're taking this serious moving forward. As we're starting to see consistent games dropping, consistent day and date games dropping, like Chia. We had last year, we had Stray. A lot of these are very unique titles. I think games that maybe not everyone tried out, like Final Fantasy Type 0 or Neo The World Ends With You. But they are very top tier, high quality games that I definitely recommend people trying out. Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 is one of the most highly anticipated games set to drop for the PlayStation 5 this year. We do seem to have unofficial confirmation that it will be dropping sometime in September this year. Tony Todd, the voice actor who plays Venom in the upcoming title, did take to Twitter to say that it is coming in September and to expect huge marketing push in August. Since then, the tweet has been taken down and been replaced with a tweet saying how, that was a mistake. It could not be that, trying to just throw a bunch of extra crazy stuff in the thing. Very Tony Todd fashion, as he is very vocal on Twitter. He is someone that I expected was going to be announcing the release date unofficially or prematurely. But yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see Spider-Man 2 get released in September, which is the same month that Xbox is releasing Starfield. So we're going to have Team Green and Team Blue have their biggest games release neck and neck to each other, and there's going to be a lot of discourse, a lot of fanboying when this happens. So I'm very excited to see who wins in whatever people decide winning is, right? Because Starfield isn't in a place to sell well just because it's in Game Pass, but it's going to have a lot of people playing it, and there's definitely going to be people talking about it. Versus Spider-Man 2 is obviously going to sell amazing, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what's going to dictate the winner in this competition. Is it the Metacritic score? Is it just how much overall players it has, how much it's sold? It's just going to be funny. Every fanboy is going to have their side on this one, and I can't wait for this to release. Team Abby, Team Ellie, the fight and debate has raged on once again online, with people choosing who was right, who was wrong again in this situation. Seems very familiar, as feels like we've had this conversation before. Whatever side you land on, The Last of Us Season 2 poster did just officially pretty much promote that Abigail is going to be continuing on in this next season, and they did say that they are going to be running it pretty close to what Last of Us Part 2 was. So this is definitely going to be a huge discourse online, and it's going to be probably even a wider discourse, just because now it's no longer just the video game people, as you have just the regular people, regular media consuming this show. It is definitely going to be very interesting to see who they choose to play Abby, and hopefully they're prepping her for whatever kind of discourse is going to happen once the season drops. Previews for Microsoft's next big game, Redfall, are finally out, with most media outlets walking away with pretty good impressions. I didn't hear a lot of negatives. There were obviously some criticisms, but that's going to happen with every preview, as one, they didn't get access to the full game, and two, everything is very much opinion based when it comes to these things. With that being said, they did say that it feels like an Arcane game. It definitely feels like what you want it to be, which, I mean, Arcane do make very, very top tier games. So I'm pretty excited for when this game comes out. I don't know if I'm going to be checking it out or anything, but I am excited to see the fan reception, and hopefully this is just another big accomplishment for Arcane Studios. Something that did create some more discourse for this game was an interview with Arcane's Harvey Smith that pretty much highlighted how there was originally going to be a PS4, PS5 version of this game, but that once Microsoft bought out Bethesda, they essentially canceled that, and making this game exclusive to Game Pass, exclusive to Xbox and PC. And there was a lot of people arguing back and forth as to whether this was a good thing, whether this was a bad thing. Harvey Smith did say that there wasn't a lot of backlash from the studio themselves, how they were pretty excited for this, as getting it day and date on Game Pass gave them access to the 30 million or so subscribers that Game Pass has, and not to mention the fact that making the game just for one platform is going to be easier than having to make it for all platforms. They definitely seemed excited for the decision of making it exclusive to Game Pass. People need to stop acting like Xbox is the only person getting exclusive games, because I mean, PlayStation has tons of exclusive games, Nintendo has tons of exclusive games. It's part of the industry, and it's just part of business. And Xbox would be dumb if they weren't trying to find exclusive games for Game Pass, as people who are subscribed to Game Pass are looking for reasons to justify their purchase, and Redfall looks like a game that's going to help justify being a subscriber to Game Pass. Valve did announce that the next entry into the Counter-Strike series is coming out, with Counter-Strike 2. I personally have never played Counter-Strike. I never played CSGO or anything like that, but I am excited to see people get excited to play more Counter-Strike. I am a little worried that people are expecting a little bit too much. I think when Overwatch and then Overwatch 2 happened, it was pretty much the same game, just with a little bit change in meta. I feel like people are going to expect huge changes from Counter-Strike 2, when it's just probably going to be meta changes and graphical updates. They did say that any of your in-game items that you have are going to carry over to the next game, so that's cool. But yeah, it is definitely very excited to see people be hyped for this one. I don't know if I'm going to be checking it out. Maybe this is the time for me to get into Counter-Strike. It did look really innovative and really cool. Crash Team Rumble officially announced the release date of June 20th. This, if you don't know, is a 4v4 competitive multiplayer where you need to collect Wumpa fruit. So pretty much whatever team collects the most Wumpa fruit is the winner. I don't really know who the hell is excited for this game, to be honest. It looks fun, but maybe as a free-to-play Steam game or something, it would be pretty cool. But for the price tag, they're selling it for $29.99, $39.99 if you want the deluxe edition. I don't think there's enough, or they haven't really shown enough that compels me to want to buy this game. But if you're excited for this game, you finally got your release date to look forward to. If you pre-order, there is going to be an open beta in April. So maybe after the open beta, there's going to be some good reception that's going to make me want to buy this game. But up until now, I haven't really seen anything. Something that keeps a lot of people away from playing RPGs, specifically Japanese RPGs, are the huge time sink that these games can be. And Final Fantasy XVI's game length is officially announced at 35 hours for the main story and 80 hours for completion. And I don't know how much people are excited for that. I feel like 80 hours turns off a lot of people, but I think for RPG players, it definitely gets them excited. A 35 main story is definitely doable for most people. I'm very excited for that. I might be one of those people who plays the full 80 hours, as I've played through majority of Final Fantasy games, and I usually get everything I can out of those games. So here's hoping that the side quests are worth it, unlike in Final Fantasy 15 where it was just a lot of fetch quests. Hopefully they have a lot of dynamic reasons to want to stray away from the beaten path. Something that I think is arguably the coolest thing I heard this week, and it's definitely got me super excited as a Ninja Turtle fan myself. Paramount officially announced that they are working on a new single action adventure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game based on the last Ronin comic. If you're not familiar with the last Ronin comic, it is a very dark and gritty version of the Ninja Turtle series where only one turtle has survived and they're pretty much trying to avenge the death of their master, of all the Ninja Turtles, and you're kind of wondering who is the last surviving Ninja Turtle. This is going to be a single player action narrative game, similar, they said, to God of War, which, again, they're just saying all the right things. This sounds like one of those things that you hear about or you talk about with your friends but never actually happens because it just sounds way too good to be true. But Paramount did officially announce it themselves, so this is good to go. It is some years off, they said, so we're probably going to see 2026, 2027, I believe. I'm just excited to hear something about this, to see some news about this game, especially hearing how it's inspired by God of War, which is one of my favorite games so far. And again, just super excited for this one. I think the only thing that can ruin it is they haven't officially announced the dev team. Well, they already have the right story behind this, so hopefully they end up with the right team developing this and they give them time to cook and get this out the way it needs to come out. And again, that just got me super excited for not just this game to release, but the future of the Ninja Turtle series, as they did say this is going to be more focused on the more adult fans of the Ninja Turtles. So that's really cool to see. Alright, those are all the cool things that I thought happened this week in gaming. Let me know if there's anything that excited you. Let me know who you think the developer team is going to be for the Ninja Turtle games. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.